All right, it's always a delight to have you join us on the program Business This Week, where we talk about business. Now, we are going to be looking at a topic that is very, very crucial, harnessing agricultural innovations for economic growth. A reflection on the World Food Day introduction, like I told you in the initial introduction before we went on that break. Now, World Food Day highlighted the urgent need for sustainable agricultural innovations to combat global food insecurity. Now, in Edo State, the legacy of Dr. Samuel Ogbemudia's in 1960s agricultural reforms remain an inspiration for today's economic recovery efforts. Now, at a recent summit in Boston, some decades ago, where a new agricultural roadmap was introduced, aligning with the World Food Day's theme of innovations and sustainability. Today, we have the honor to have with us Dr. Kienuwa Obaseki, a senior engineering consultant, agripreneur expert, and a philanthropist. He's joining us virtually from the United States to explore how Edo State, and of course Nigeria by extension, can harness these agricultural innovations to drive economic growth. Thank you once more, Dr. Obaseki, for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now walk us through, how does the agricultural roadmap presented in Boston, you were in that meeting, how does it address food security and resonate with Edo State's potential?
It is the only solution. It is the only solution because it is nothing new. This is exactly what Ogbemudia did. For people as old as myself, who really witnessed the invasion of Midwest by the Biafra and then the subsequent liberation by the Federal, they will attest that in between, we almost starved to death. And when he came, he saw, according to him, because I invited him to Boston, I personally assigned the topics, and I wanted him to present a paper on infrastructure. His paper is still with me. But he thought that, and he told me I'm mischaracterizing him. He's an agric governor. Because I thought I was the only one who sees the way out of our development as agric. Every nation on earth, America, agric was the first that they tackled. They were even throwing rice just to minimize the price, so that not to overpopulate or lower the price. So China, the same thing. So when I invited him, he subsequently invited me to Benin, and I met with him. You saw the letter. I sent the letter he wrote to me. He said, agric, when he first liberated the Midwest, a professor, I've forgotten the name, told him, how are you going to govern people that are almost dead, infrastructure or building roads, that's not the key. Just concentrate on agric. And then he had this Agbede farm, miles and miles and miles, if I'm not mistaken, almost 20-something miles. And then he introduced Midwest food production. So there was surplusity of food. That is what we need first. And I have capitalized on that. I think I showed you this Greek roadmap for Edo State, which can also be replicated.
I don't know if we can, if the production director, who can help us display some of the things Dr. Obaseki is showing us now. We have those on the slide. If we can just have them displayed, please, for the viewers. Dr. Obaseki, go on. We have those materials. Go on.
Right. Oh, yeah, you have the material. See, well, right now, what I'm trying to pursue, you saw what I sent you. right, even in a cold region like Michigan, I have 4 tubers of yam growing right now. I've already sacrificed the 2 of them. I'm using the 2 of them to really try to come up with seedlings that, according to 2 Edo's daughters, in the research, one Professor Helen Asemota ni Omo Osaige, and then I think the other one is Dr. Beatrice Arewi. I mean, I don't know, it looks like it's coincidental. How to produce yam using the leaf nodes. And I've already started getting some few results. In my parlor here, I sent you
The
I
clip.
sent you a video and the picture. So this is what we're going to do. I have already purchased one sawmill, and I'll be shipping it home and intend to buy another one. What we intend to do is to what I intend to do is to start making beds where to grow this yam, even in a waterlogged area like the Gelegele area. You can grow yam anywhere, even in
Okay.
Delta. So that's what we need to do. If we can produce 1 billion tubers of yam, you will sell them and start raising money abroad. You see, that's the key. With that money, you can now start addressing the industrialization that I sent you. I sent you, was it about 3 or 4 pages of list of industries. I had spoken to some Korean friends of mine who were ready to come and establish them.
Okay,
So
now
what?
you are doing all this as an
Yes,
individual
as an
to
individual.
see how to encourage your community. But to an extent, do you think government is going to buy to this idea? Because people have brought up brilliant suggestions like yours. You are father in United States and you're planting yam. You're a farmer. Do you think government will buy into these ideas?
I'm not looking for the government to buy into this idea. What we are already doing, what I am already doing, is to reach out to our communities, the various communities, as we did in terms of security. I sent you the video the Ugoton people, used in honoring me because they were being threatened by all these terrorists that invaded their forest. The key was to bring all the 30 villages together to form a common alliance. And I sent them some money. My sisters and my brother, we collected money so that they can buy basic defense to ward off the Fulani terrorists or invaders who invaded their farms. So you can also replicate that strategy in terms of agric.
Okay.
We all produce their crops together and then sell them outside. Have enough dollars or whatever foreign currency to pay for all those industries that I sent you. It's not me alone. I cannot produce everything. You saw what my manager is doing. I sent it to you.
Okay.
He, he's not gotten enough results to my satisfactory. I'm getting the result here. So when I come home, I'm going to teach him how to produce all these seedlings. And once they are produced, we shall distribute the seedling to all those communities. We go to Hunde, we go to Yekovia, we go to Oriomo, and start preaching to them so they take they take advantage. They take their.
Go on. Okay, now, Dr. Obaseki, we have some of the slides on the screen. Now, how does this, if you can hear us, how does this roadmap from the Midwest Liberation's economic strategies, how can it help guide Edo's future? And of course, Nigeria at large? Some of these roadmaps, some of this strategy that you people came up with in 2004, if I'm not mistaken. Walk us through.
They can easily generate as high as $1 billion, if not more, dollars. And then they can then uh, buy all this equipment, create a common center. It will be common cultivation, common processing, common storage, and common sale. Okay, that's it's simple. It's a simple strategy. Maybe I'm not explaining it properly, but it is there. Bring me 1 billion tubers of yam today. I will sell them and bring back nothing less than $3 or $4 billion, not naira.
Okay, now, in light of the World Day that we celebrated recently, how can Edo State adopt innovative agricultural practices to meet both local and global demand?
They can key in, fine. If they don't key in, I'm telling you, it will still work. But all you need is for all those communities to make the decision that they want to take their destiny to their own hands and produce those yams for us, and we will sell them. The only obstacle is probably going to be the government, because the government is going to pull them down, because Nigeria is being run like a polyboro. What do I mean by polyboro? Where you collect all the money, you send it to the federal government, then the federal government start distributing it. It doesn't work that way. You know? It doesn't work that way. That is our biggest problem. I have not only, I am very passionate about developing Edo. Once I wrote a letter to Obairediawa that, yes, I wanted to establish a revenue pattern for Edo, and he cooperated with me 110%. Ask Iyase of Benin. Iyase of Benin came to my house. Iyase of Benin, and then the other chief who also came to Chicago. There are ways for us to generate money. All we need is to work together. Whether the government is there or the government is not there, forget about the government. Appeal to the people. Appeal to the people. You see, our youth, they are all over. All this Yahoo, many are going to Europe. Some die, try to cross the Sahara Desert. Then they get to the Mediterranean Sea, where you have those make Europe great again. They bust their balloon, many die. And then they get to Austria and Europe not to have jobs. I was in Vienna, Austria. You come and see our boys and girls, they are doing nothing, And some approached me. They thought I was from the government. And I told them, you are 25 years old. Why can't you stay in Nigeria and turn Nigeria around? It was something my son told Chief Attorney Nauru. I showed you the picture, my house, before he returned back to Nigeria. Chief Attorney Nauru, we never come to the U.S. without coming to my house. He came here 7 times. 31 times we met. I visited him in both Florida, Virginia, and all the rest. My son told him that he was wasting his time until the Nigerian youth, they rise up and take Nigeria into their own hands.
Okay, but in the present times, if Nigerian youth want to take the country in their hands, how the event will turn out. But however, if we have people like
so
you,
it be. So be it. So
okay.
Be it, my brother. But Nigeria cannot keep going the way it's going.
Oh, definitely. But we are not going to promote any means that will look like anarchy or distort the government. Some persons might take your statement out of context. I know the point you are coming from. But to an extent now, I would like us to go through some of these slides that we have. There was a particular one you sent where you were talking about how some certain um, infrastructure or some certain move can be taken to some geopolitical area in the states. You talked about
Yes,
something that will be
yes.
built in Edo North, one that will be built in Edo South and Edo Central. There was a breakdown that we had, and it's fantastic. I would like you to I would like you to quickly walk us through that before we go for the
Okay.
2 p.m. headline break.
The first slide, they are just agric and industrial centers. That the industrial center is like acquiring, creating an industrial area, and then reaching out to all the manufacturers of those the other slides I highlighted, whatever is needed, and then give them loan from the sales of agri produce, and then they start building their industry, create corporation, not private corporation, whereby you and I, we can buy shares in them, and they allow the best to run the company. But once it is government, forget it, it's going to die.
Okay,
It's
Dr.
going to
Obaseki,
die.
we'll quickly, before we, when we come back from the break, you'll be helping us to tell us how can Edo State agriculture, how can we leverage on agriculture to drive economic recovery? In the midst of all these economic challenges, how can we leverage on agriculture using some of these slides that we have? But that will be after this break. All right, welcome back from that break, everyone. It's still business this week, reaching you live from our global headquarters here in Benin City, Edo State, Nigeria. Daniel Prezos Edebame is my name, and we still have our guest, Dr. Kienuwa Obaseki. He's an agricultural expert, a consultant par excellence, and of course, from the United States, he's joining. Now, Dr. Obaseki, let's quickly look at some of the technological role. I actually asked, how can we use technology to boost our economy using agriculture? So now let's walk it through. How can technology play a vital role in Edo agricultural sector? We'll be using some of the slides that we have.
Yeah, but let me take you back
Okay.
to the time of Ogbemondia. He once established some fabricating companies. Some of all these equipments can be fabricated in Nigeria. Only few need to be imported from abroad. That's what we are. That is the key
Can you see
to
some of the,
establish.
with what we have on the screen, which of these can we
Yeah.
fabricate in Nigeria?
Oh, you can fabricate silos. You can fabricate this oil producing equipments, and then maybe this rototiller maybe have to be imported, and then this tractor. And once you have tractor, you don't need to import them every year. All this can be fabricated. You see, the whole idea is that these are 10 zone. I call them 10 zona based on area for Benin. Like Cross River State, we have is big. Cross River State, we have about 11 or 12. Then, like Niger State, the biggest, we have 43. It's based on area that every farmer is close to a processing center and a storage center. So when you equip those area, when you equip those area with those equipment, processing equipment, they don't need to do anything. Just grow what you need to grow, then dump them there. They shall be processed, and then common sale, common processing, common storage, common sale. And you know what belongs to you and what belongs to me. It's simple, but structure it, get the government away from the running of those centers. It's just based on the people within that location, and we have economic freedom and even the industry. So, like for example, in Ososo area, they may want to process granite or whatever, and then whereas people in Yekorium area, they want to process palm, then you design all the equipment in that center. It's easy. It's easy to produce enough food to feed Nigeria and then enough food to export out. It's the same advice I gave Akobo. Chief Enaru asked Akobo, he described him as the godfather of Ijaw nationalism. And he wanted him to come and see me. And I told him, yes, I mean, I love people that love their people. You understand? Those who are ready to die the plight of their people brings them pain and they want to solve it. And I told him, do implement this kind of a structure and pull your people out instead of just, well, I know they are being cheated out of the oil allocation and all whatever, oil revenue, but while you are fighting for your right, also try to improve the lives of your people. That
Okay.
is what this is all about.
All right.
That's
Before
what this is all about.
let's take Edo. Let's take a critical look at Edo State again. We are almost the highest producing palm producers. When you talk about palm oil, we have it in excess in Edo South to an extent. And by extension, even some part of Edo Central and Edo North, we have in Edo Central. Then if you move through Oman West, as if you're going towards Auchi, you see around those wide, the vast lands we have there, you see a lot of cashews, a lot of cocoa and other crops there. In the past, we used to export these things outside, and the government at the federal level have made money from it. Even in the days of the oil boom, we were actually major exporters of some of these cash crops. But it's not like that again. What must have gone wrong?
You see, if you look at that roadmap I sent you, there is a place I think I colored it red, the research center, all the various whatever they are doing, and people sell, they have to fund that research center, and that research center let them do the thinking. You just do the research center. This star research center around Benin City area. We now determine what's going on in all these locations. Get the university involved. Get bring experts. Whatever you need to do to make the agri center thrive, the industrial complex, they all thrive. So that is what we need. That's what we need, and it works. But not the government, not the government. The role of the government is to fund the individual communities
Okay, now,
to do
at
some
the federal
community.
level, yes. Please land on your thoughts so that we can go on. Can we move on now?
Yes, and even at the federal level, the same thing they can do that. Although I'm not always, I don't always like the federal controlling things like Professor Mo you will say when he came to my place. I spent 2 week. He spent 2 weekends at my place. What he was agitating for, local control over local resources, local control over local resources, meaning you control your resources, you pay taxes on it, then you can use those resources to develop your industry, to develop anything you want to develop. People can come from all over the nation to come and get job or even settle there. You have Benin City is no longer for Benin alone. No, you have the Igbos there, you have Yoruba, you have the Northerners, they have all migrated there. What if we were able to create this kind of a miracle? I mean, industrial miracle, let me use that word, there. We'll be able to accommodate all those jobless people, and then Delta will copy same. Cross River will copy same. you industrialize the whole of Nigeria. You know, we formed. I was one of the pioneers that formed the Edo National Association. Unfortunately, it's not going the way we want. You know, I brought the white guy. I brought to the convention. He was the head of the tool and die. Tool, you know, in the industry, before we build cars, we build the tool. And that tool, once you perfect it, after you do all your initial study, you start producing. Even if you want to produce 10 million or so many million. I brought him to the Edo convention, and then he gave a speech there that if there's any group of people that can transform Nigeria, it's Edo people, because we are rich in technology. And he came, and we wanted to even establish this agric roadmap in Yekoriama. Unfortunately, I don't want to mention the name of the the town or the village. You know, he did show up.
Okay.
I also reported that to by radio hour.
Well,
Yes,
okay. Well, these are so many. These are
too
histories
many things
that have
to
happened in the
discuss.
past so long. But we can implement if we implement some of these things, or some of these suggestions from some of the conferences and meetings you've had. Will it have any short-term effect on our agricultural roadmap?
The short time effect is for us to look for a way to produce that 1 billion tubers of yam, and two, for the government not to stop us from selling some outside to generate the income to address the industry. That's what I'm saying. Like, I have two of my tubers still outside that I have not really harvested, because I want to see if they can survive the winter. If they can survive the winter, oh my God, that would be a breakthrough. I will go and publish a paper on that. You
Okay,
know,
let's if
yeah,
it survives, I think we'll be coming to the United States to have a very hot pounded yam and vegetable soup,
exactly,
very hot one. But
exactly.
you talked about 1 billion tubers. That's a whole lot. If we can produce,
Well,
are you saying we are going to produce this 1 billion
no, no,
tubers in Edo
no.
State alone, or
No,
Nigeria at
in Edo
large?
State alone, yes, you can.
Please help us, walk us through.
But that would be the target. You don't need to get there. If that is your goal, in the auto industry, we always say this will be the maximum. We want to make sure we produce 12 billion of this 12 million of this vehicle or engines. But the first year you might just produce 100,000. The next year, 500,000. You keep going until you reach your goal. That's what that's what I that's what I mean. Excuse me. That's what I
But
mean.
if you look at the educational sector, some persons are saying the educational institution, they are not really helping matters. You have students who study agric, but they don't know how to use some of these farm tools. Someone study agric and he doesn't know how to simple cultivate corn.
Yes,
Where are we missing it from the agricultural sector,
because
from the educational place?
last time I said we have almost 256 redundant universities. Why did I make that statement? As much as harsh as that statement sound, but just look at it. You keep producing more university. You cannot see it like some people will say, "Ebugbe, look at it on the ground." Is that not? You are this one. Chief Tenaro was the first to say that. We all laughed. We were holding a meeting. My ribs almost cracked. Because there are ways some people, some comedian or some people will express stuff and then you keep laughing. That is our problem. You know, with this agric roadmap, you establish the center, you get all these students from agri school of agri, they will all be there. You know, they will all be there. You know, when I was even in high school, Egosa, those who went to Egosa, they will tell you, we used to have what they call practical agric, Japanese spinach. I recall once it was 20% of the grade. The year we had this agric, they gave us some beds to plant agric, to plant Japanese spinach, and I was sick for 2 weeks. You know, when I came back, you know, I was in a hurry so that
To meet
I
up.
don't miss to beat up, you know. And then what we harvested, we actually use it. They use it to cook for us in Egosa. Egosa, that's my alma mater.
Wow.
That's my alma mater.
Okay, now.
But you don't have that these days. They need to introduce that so that people can,
Sorry.
so that we can feed ourselves. You know, the first time I'm hearing of palliative, I've never heard that English word in my life. You know, it was because of this crisis they started using palliatives. You know, then they are introducing to jackpa, by. You know, these are all coming because of hardship. Nigeria is introducing so many words into the English language. You know.
Okay, now, so to an extent, for the government, the only way out to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal and by extension the hunger in the land is to give out grains, all right? And of course, for greener pasture, younger Nigerians, even older ones too, they are leaving the shores of
Yeah,
the country to get greener
they
pasture.
shouldn't.
But
They
you talked
shouldn't.
about, let's quickly hit it from the point of private partnerships. Now, you are just one individual among many who actually have hearts to see how to bring out or to contribute positively to their state. Now, how can we use private sector partnership and international collaborations to drive some of this transformation in the agricultural sector?
Well, first of all, to organize the communities together. The land, that's where you're going to do all this farming. You know, if you organize them and give them a quota, you must produce, say, 1 million tubers of yam, 2 million tubers of yam. This, what do you need to achieve that? Then, oh, I need a fertilizer, I need good seedlings, I need this, I need that. Then you provide them. And then you get all these agri students, you know, assign them. They go there, you know, to go and help. That's what they do here. Once, I think 1983, I almost I almost returned back to Nigeria. I had a family friend here. They were paid not to farm. They were paid not to farm because if they produce, there will be surplus. You know, there will be surplus. So it will come to that stage. But if you organize our people properly, you know, they produce 1 million. Ogoton, you produce another 1 million. Ewesi produce 1 million. Oronibe produce 2 million. You add all of this together. The ones you want to sell abroad, there are buyers. Even about 2 or 3 blocks from me here, a friend of mine, he has this produce store. He just I go there to rap with him. He's from I think Tajikistan, you know, and he told me, if you need money, I will give you money. Go and produce the yam and bring it to me. I will buy them. You know,
So that means the market is open. It's just the
the market,
goods that is not available.
we don't have the goods. We don't have the goods. And then you ask yourself, why can't we have the goods? You saw that Chinese who produce yams in Nigeria. He came all the way from China. You know, you know that they sell by pounded yam in China I don't know if you saw that video.
Yes.
You know,
He says he has okra soup, ogbolo, and all that. I saw
exactly.
it.
The guy asked, "Do you want okra soup or bolo?" And these Nigerian jokers, you know how you have some Nigerian jokers were saying, "Oh, you have a wedu." The guy said, "Yes, I do." You have amala. The guy said, "Yes, I do." It was the Nigerian who was laughing. That guy wasn't laughing. He was serious because he has a lot of customers to attend to. The least he expected was to waste time with a joker, you know.
Okay, now
It's Nigeria. People
let's begin to
can
call
you
it a
produce
wrap
that
because we
here?
don't really have time, Dr.
Yes.
Obaseki. Job creation is a problem. We talk about youth leaving the country in their drones. How can we see how to stabilize the economy, have a good, flourishing agricultural sector that will create employment, mostly for the younger generation? How can we put all this together as we begin to wrap up?
That is what I said. That you produce. Okay, first of all, everybody has an idea. So I want to build this industry. I want to build that industry. And once you build industry, people are going to work there. You know, people are going to work there. You know, and how do you get the build that industry? You have to have the money. That's why agri produce is the way out. You know, I know. I had a meeting with Dr. Eribo of blessed memory. He told me the history of the Eribo carpet, how his brother Chief Eribo, they established that carpet industry. The first time I saw him, I told him that the day Chief Eribo died, he took so many people to grave with him. Why
Okay,
did I say that?
okay,
Yes,
Dr.
because
Obaseki.
he was the
Time is not always our friend,
job
Dr. Obaseki.
producer.
Yes.
He was the job producer. When the job producer dies, the industry dies. That's the end.
Okay,
You know.
Dr. Baseki, our time is up, but my interest now is the area of producing 1 billion tubers of yam. I would like you
Yes.
to go back again, have a good research on this. We'll see how to come and talk about it. If we can produce 1 billion tubers of yam, I think it will go a long way to take us out of where we are today. Thank you very much for always being on the program.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay, this is how far we can go on the program business.
You will also help sell this idea. You will also help sell this idea. You saw what my manager is doing. We got to producing all this seedling. We can multiply that process, and then before you know it, that billion will be
Definitely,
achieved.
and that is why this platform is here to help give voice or project good projects like this. We appreciate you one more time, Dr. Obaseki, for always coming, and of course, viewers, I'm very sure you had something to take home from this discussion. I will see you on the next one. My name is Daniel Praise Osedebame. Bye for now.